Okay, so you know how we all spend like hours scrolling through those real estate listings, daydreaming about, that perfect place.
Oh, yeah.
But what if like instead of just hoping to own a home someday, we could like approach that dream with a different kind of energy, you know?
Yeah.
Like really believing it's going to happen.
Yeah, shifting from "I hope this happens" to "I know this is part of my path."
Exactly. And that's what we're diving into today. This deep dive is going to be fascinating. We've got this piece from the Rhythms of Grace podcast called Hope to Faith.
I love that podcast.
Me too.
Yeah.
It outlines 6 steps to move us from wishful thinking to actually owning property.
So it's not about ignoring the practical steps, right?
Right.
But about approaching them with a different energy.
I love that. So the first step is called going to God. Now, this might sound a little unconventional,
Mm-hmm.
but imagine starting your property search not by hitting Zillow,
Right.
but by having a heartfelt conversation with a higher power.
It's about seeking guidance
But hey,
and clarity
yeah,
before taking any action.
I like it.
Within the Christian faith, this means praying about your desire for home ownership and, more importantly, understanding if it aligns with a bigger plan for your life.
Okay, so it's not just about asking for a house. It's more about, is this the right path for me at this moment?
Precisely. It's about aligning your personal desires with what you believe to be God's will for you.
Okay, so you've taken that first step. You've gone to God in prayer. What's next?
Step 2 is receiving God's response. This is where things get interesting. The source suggests that this response often comes through light.
Light,
Yeah,
like a light bulb moment.
you got it. That sudden clarity about what to do next.
So you're not saying it's about hearing a booming voice from the heavens, but more about paying attention to those subtle signs or feelings that point you in the right direction.
Yes. For Christians, the source specifically points to John 1:1-3, which
Okay.
talks about the divine nature of light.
Hmm.
They believe that God can speak through his word, the Bible.
So it's about being open to receiving messages in different ways, whether it's through quiet reflection or reading scripture, or even, those seemingly random events or conversations that suddenly feel really meaningful.
Exactly. It's about paying attention to those synchronicities
I love that.
and trusting that you're being guided. Of course, the source also emphasizes that any external guidance you receive should always align with biblical principles.
So it's not about just blindly following any random sign, but more about viewing everything through the lens of your faith.
Precisely. It's about discernment, using your faith as a compass to navigate those messages and make sure they're leading you in the right direction.
Okay, I'm already feeling more intentional about this whole process.
Yes.
So let's say you've prayed, you've opened your mind to receiving guidance.
Mm.
What do you do with that information? What's step 3?
Step 3 is what to do with the light. It's about taking that inspiration and internalizing it. The source suggests meditating on the words or scriptures that resonated with you, speaking God's commitment aloud.
Wait, speaking God's commitment out loud. That's a new one for me.
It might feel a little unusual at first,
Yeah.
but the idea is that you're not just thinking about it, you're actively declaring it, and there's a real power in that, wouldn't you say?
Definitely. It's
Yeah.
like you're taking ownership of the message
Yes.
and making it real.
Exactly. And here's where it gets even more interesting. The source encourages you to thank God for the property as if you already have it.
Whoa. Okay, that's a pretty bold move.
It is.
I've never thought about thanking God for something before I even have it. How does that work?
It's a powerful way to shift your mindset
Okay.
from longing to gratitude,
Mm.
from "I hope this happens" to "I'm so grateful this is already mine." It's about aligning your energy with the outcome you desire.
So it's about cultivating that belief that it's already happening, even if you haven't seen the physical manifestation yet.
Precisely. And that brings us to step 4, observing to do. This is where we start paying attention to those practical steps
Okay.
that are needed to bring that vision into reality.
All right. This is where we bridge the gap between faith and action.
Exactly. The source talks about 3 gates of observation:
Okay.
the eye, the ear, and the heart.
Okay, I like this.
It's about being aware of the signs and opportunities that are presented to you, even in the most ordinary moments.
So it's about being present and noticing those subtle nudges, those
Uh-huh.
moments where you're like, wait a minute, is this a sign?
It could be anything. Seeing a for sale sign in a neighborhood you love, overhearing a conversation about a great real estate agent,
Oh,
or even just feeling a strong intuitive pull to check out a particular listing.
it's like the universe is conspiring to help you achieve your dreams.
Yes.
but you have to be paying attention to catch the clues.
Exactly. It's about trusting those subtle nudges, those moments where you feel guided toward a particular action.
This is making me realize how much I might be missing just by going through life on autopilot.
Mm.
I love how this step encourages you to be present and engaged in the process.
And that level of awareness is key for the next step, too, which is willing obedience.
Okay, willing obedience. That sounds a little intimidating. What does that mean in the context of finding a home?
Well, remember that passage we talked about earlier, John 2.5, where Mary tells the servants to do whatever Jesus tells them?
Mm-hmm.
This step draws on that story, emphasizing the importance of acting promptly on the guidance you receive, even if it doesn't make logical sense at the time.
So it's about trusting that intuition and taking action, even if it feels a little risky. But what about when logic tells you to play it safe,
Right.
to stick with the conventional approach? How do you balance that with willing obedience to a path that might seem unconventional?
That's a great question. It's definitely a balancing act.
Yeah.
This step isn't about throwing caution to the wind, but about recognizing that sometimes the best decisions come from a place of faith and intuition rather than pure logic.
It's like that saying, leap in the net will appear.
Yes.
You have to trust that you're being guided towards something bigger, even if you can't see the whole picture just yet.
Exactly. It's about taking that step of faith and knowing that the path will unfold as you go.
This is really resonating with me. Okay, so we've gone to God received, his response, meditated on it, observed the signs, and acted obediently. What's the final piece of the puzzle?
The sixth and final step is called Be in Thanksgiving, and it's all about tapping into the power of gratitude even before you see the physical manifestation of your desire.
So even if you're still saving up for that down payment or haven't even started touring properties yet, you're expressing gratitude as if you've already closed the deal.
Precisely. It's about shifting your focus from what you lack to
Okay.
what you already have. From longing to appreciation, it's a powerful way to align yourself with the frequency of your desire.
This reminds me of that story of the Israelites crossing the Red Sea. As long as Moses held up his hands in prayer, they were victorious.
Wow.
It's like maintaining that posture of faith and gratitude is what keeps those miracles flowing.
That's a fantastic analogy. It highlights the importance of unwavering faith and gratitude, even when facing seemingly insurmountable obstacles.
The source suggests thanking God daily for the property, regardless of external factors.
Mm.
So even if the market is crazy or interest rates are sky high, you're still holding on to that vision and expressing gratitude for it.
Exactly. It's about trusting that the divine plan is unfolding perfectly, even if it doesn't look that way from your current vantage point.
Okay.
It's about surrendering control and embracing the journey with faith and gratitude.
I love that surrendering control.
Yeah.
Because let's be real, the housing market can be a roller coaster of emotions. So to recap, we've covered the first 6 steps for moving from hope to faith and achieving property ownership. Going to God, receiving his response, meditating on his word, observing to do willing obedience, and being in thanksgiving.
It's a beautiful framework, isn't it? It blends those spiritual principles with practical action, reminding us that achieving our dreams isn't just about luck or hard work,
Right.
but about aligning ourselves with a higher power and trusting the unfolding of a greater plan.
It's definitely a message of hope and empowerment, reminding us that anything is possible when we combine faith with action and maintain an attitude of gratitude throughout the journey.
And it underscores the transformative power of faith,
Yes.
not just as a belief system, but as an active force that can shape our experiences and bring our desires into fruition.
I'm already feeling inspired to apply these principles to my own life, not just in terms of finding a home,
Right?
but in all areas. What stands out to you so far?
What really strikes me is this idea of living the supernatural naturally. It's like saying that miracles aren't just these random, extraordinary events, but an inherent part of our existence, accessible through faith.
I love that. It's about recognizing that we're not just waiting for miracles to happen to us, but that we can actively cultivate a life
Yes,
filled with miraculous experiences through faith and aligned action.
absolutely. And the journey itself is just as important as the destination.
Right.
It's about finding joy and gratitude in each step of the process, trusting that we're being guided and supported every step of the way.
Yeah. Yeah. I love that. It's like we're not just, buying a house. We're building a foundation of faith
Yes,
that can support, all areas of our lives.
that's a powerful way to put it. And that brings us to a final thought from the source that I found particularly intriguing.
Okay.
It encourages listeners to start early in setting the coordinates of their lives by faith.
Start early. What does that even mean?
Well, think of it this way. Faith isn't like a light switch you just flip on when you need it.
Right.
It's more like a muscle you develop over time. The more you use it, the stronger it becomes.
So it's not just about, this one specific goal of owning a property.
Right.
It's about approaching everything in life with
Yes.
that same sense of faith and trust.
Exactly. It's about making faith a part of your daily routine, your decision-making process, your interactions with others.
It's like setting your internal GPS to faith
Yeah.
and letting it lead you to a life that's aligned with your deepest values and purpose.
Yeah. And the sooner you start, the more natural it becomes. It's like learning a new language. The more you immerse yourself in it, the more fluent you become.
This has been such an eye-opening deep dive. We've explored these 6 steps for moving from hope to faith in achieving property ownership. But it's clear that these principles extend far beyond just finding a place to live.
Absolutely. It's about recognizing the power of faith as an active force in our lives. A force that can transform our dreams into reality when combined with aligned action and an unwavering attitude of gratitude.
So as you go about your day, consider this. What area of your life could you apply these principles to today? What step could you take, big or small, to move from simply hoping to having faith in the outcome?
Remember, every journey begins with a single step. And when that step is guided by faith, the possibilities are truly limitless.
It's funny, we started to talk about owning a home,
Yeah.
but it feels like this is bigger than that,
All right.
Like we're talking about life and how to approach it.
I think that's what's so cool about this source material.
Yeah.
It uses wanting a house as a way to talk about something deeper.
Yeah, like a personal journey.
Yes, transformation and growth.
And it's like those 6 steps,
Yeah.
they aren't just about finding a house.
Right.
It's like building a foundation of faith.
Exactly.
Right.
Everything.
Mm-hmm.
And the more we grow that faith,
Yeah,
the more those miracles show up in our lives.
I like that.
Finding a home, getting that job,
Oh, yeah.
better relationships.
Okay, before we wrap up,
Mm-hmm.
what's one practical tip for someone who's ready to start,
Oh, that's a good question.
Yeah.
I think it goes back to that setting the coordinates idea.
Yeah.
Instead of just looking at listings,
Right.
take some time to really picture yourself in that ideal home.
Ooh, I love that. Like a vision board, but for your house.
Exactly. Create a picture in your mind of your dream home.
Okay.
Walk through the rooms.
Uh-huh.
Imagine cooking relaxing.
Yeah.
Feel the gratitude as if it's already yours.
So even if you're not ready to buy yet, like weeks or years away,
Mm-hmm.
you're already feeling that gratitude.
Mm-hmm. Exactly. Because remember, where you focus your attention matters.
Right.
The more you focus on that feeling of gratitude,
Yeah.
the more you're aligning with your desire
I love it.
and opening yourself to receiving it.
This has been so inspiring. It's a good reminder that achieving our dreams isn't just about hard work.
It's about so much more.
Yeah, it's about aligning with a bigger vision.
And trusting that when we take those steps of faith,
Mhm.
amazing things can happen.
So remember those 6 steps.
Yeah.
Go to God, receive His responsive vision, meditate on His word, observe to do willing obedience, be in thanksgiving.
And remember, this journey of faith isn't just about a house.
It's about life.
It's about creating a life you love with purpose, joy, and gratitude, one step at a time.